I know you feel that doesn't fit, but first of all, I'd like to thank DeMatha Catholic High School for recognizing me tonight for my service to the school and my commitment to its mission. I'd also like to thank my friends and colleagues for honoring me here tonight, particularly the administration, Dr. McMahon, Father James, and especially Mr. John Morland, who I began my career here with tonight. While this evening represents nearly 2.5 decades of service to DeMatha, it's actually my 36th year in education. I would also like to acknowledge the contributions of the other schools I've taught at over the past years, including Avalon Academy, the Chelsea School, and the Yeshiva of Greater Washington, for their contributions in helping me develop into the teacher that I am today. Had it not been for the positive experiences that I had when I first started teaching in Avalon Academy, I would be among the ranks of those who taught a couple of years and then moved on to other careers. Today, working at DeMatha offers me the opportunity to continue in a profession that I've grown to love more and become passionate about with each passing day. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to these schools for offering me the opportunity to pay my dues. I know this may seem an odd thing to be thankful for, but it's been more recently that I've come to appreciate even more the value of paying one's dues. We live in a time when many young people, those in their teens, 20s, even 30s, are often not given this opportunity. They want to be on the fast track for advancement, since quicker and easier is often considered by today's standards to be the better. I can attest that the trials, tribulations, and challenges that come with paying one's dues not only results in greater professional growth, but also aids in personal growth as well. I'm truly thankful that I was expected to pay my dues during my professional career. While at DeMatha, I've made many friends that have truly become part of what I call my family. Some of you may remember a 1970s television program, The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Her character on that show once said that family is the people that make you feel less alone and really loved. There are many people that I've met here at DeMatha over the years that are more than just the people I work with every day, or what I would consider part of my family because they do just that. They make me feel less alone and really loved. I've often related to many of you when I graduated from my undergraduate school that I said to myself there would be two things that I never wanted to do in life. The first was to sell insurance, and the second was to teach school. I can now state with honesty and humility that I agree with the Roman jurist and orator Cicero, who said, "What nobler employment or more valuable to the state than that of the man who instructs the rising generation?" My experiences in education have made me very honored to be part of what I now consider a noble profession. As many know, I have the reputation of being a tough teacher. There's some that might have a difficult time for me to convince them that this is by design and not due to some innate character trait. But I subscribe to the view of William Marriott, the founder of the Marriott hotel chain, who once said, "Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees." Hopefully at some point my students will realize that the harsh wind they call Reeves will in the end make them stronger trees. Over the years, my style of teaching has focused on what is often termed the Socratic method. While this method of teaching has fallen somewhat out of favor with some in education in favor of what they call more innovative pedagogical strategies, I'm still a firm believer that this is one of the most valuable strategies of teaching. I think that the questioning that occurs between the teacher and the students using this method helps students to think critically. I often tell my students that my job is to get them to fire up as many neurons as possible. Alice Robbins once stated, "The test of a good teacher is not how many questions he can ask his pupils that they will answer readily, but how many questions he inspires them to ask him that he finds hard to answer." When my students cause me to fire up more neurons, then I know that I've done my job with them. This approach also allows me to be more than someone who just gives them stuff to learn. I have to remind myself of the three things to remember when teaching according to Lola Madden. Know your stuff, know whom you're stuffing, and then stuff them elegantly. As you can hopefully tell from my remarks, my focus is truly on my students. They are the primary reason I have such a passion for what I do. The lady who many of us know as Ann Landers recently passed away. She, of course, wrote a syndicated advice column, and someone asked her, and it was played recently on the CNN program, about why she was so passionate about her work. Her usual witty reply was, the IRS. While I fully agree with her on this point, I would also like to add that for me, it is also my students. I value the interactions with my colleagues, but I cherish my interactions with my students. I know that each day I learn far more from them than they do from me. My hope is that I do inspire them about science, or as Horace Mann stated, a teacher who teaches without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is like hammering on cold iron. I hope in looking back over the years I've taught, I will be remembered not for how long I've taught, but rather for the passion of my science teaching, the inspiration I've provided for my students, and in general, the quality of education and instruction I provide. Tonight wouldn't be complete if I didn't recognize the contributions that my parents made in my development. While they gave me many values, and by values I mean gifts that they passed on to me, these are values. I know that there are two values they gave me that I try to integrate in my life and to convey to my students each day. My dad, who unfortunately was killed in an accident when I was 12, taught me what it meant to be an honorable man. And my mom, who passed away recently through her nearly 45 years of service as an intensive care neonatologist, taught me the value of dedication. They live on as I pass the values that they instilled in me to my students. Finally, I'd like to address the notion that due to new technologies, many people believe that teachers in the near future will become obsolete in a classroom. I passionately feel there will never be any technology that can replace the interaction that goes on between the student and the teacher in the classroom. It is my view that we now need to sort of step back and assess the role of technology in education. We need to have these technologies work for us and not us for them. The German-born computer scientist Joseph Weizenbaum, who developed many technologies we use today in computers, and who taught at such prestigious universities as the University of Berlin, Harvard, Stanford, and was professor emeritus of computer science at MIT, said, putting a computer in front of a child and expecting him to teach him is like putting a book under his pillow, only more expensive. It's my hope that among my students that I inspire some of my students to one day take up this noble profession and to continue inspiring future generations. Let me, in closing, express my sincere gratitude and also extend my congratulations to my three colleagues who are also being honored here tonight.